morning on Monday, the 16th of December 2024. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia, and therefore Coffee Time on West Coast Radio with me, Peter Gomez. And Coffee Time is brought to you in association with partners led by WAVE, the U.S. Poultry and Egg Council and GAM Food Trading, Easy Financial Services, TAP Africa Global, Bloomberg Africa Global Properties, and the Gambia Experience.
Did you know service plots are now available at Baki? Welcome to Baki, Tap City's fourth residential estate.
Yes, service plots available at Baki with 3 years interest-free payment plan with a minimum deposit of only $94,000, and it will come with fence plot, water reticulation, electricity, solar street lights, and bituminized internal roads. Are you ready to build your dream home for yourself?
Call us now.
And first up in the press review is Gambia Daily. President Barrow wraps up Kenya trip with visit to 56-acre social housing project. Public Service Ministry inaugurates new digitalization room for NRS. Plans afoot to revive Roots Homecoming Festival. Reparations Commission set to be operationalized. Information Minister Cisse attends Stratcom 24 in Turkey, and 14th edition of NACONF begins. The front cover of The Point reads this morning, The Point clocks 33 and remembers Data. Mai Ahmed Fati joins NPP. Global financial institutions hail GRA reforms. No president should serve more than 2 terms in the Gambia. ECOWAS approves establishment of special tribunal for Gambia. Gambia's 2025 expenditure projected at $47.4 billion. And good morning, Mr. President, unsurprisingly, is all about The Point today, celebrating its legacy while still harping on the many challenges. Now, Foraya's front page. Sukuta Salaji protest persists amid police intervention. Budget deficit expected to slow down to $5.1 billion. MRC Workers Association threatens sit-down strike. ECOWAS approves establishment of special tribunal for Gambia, and 2,000 youths gather for NACONF in Kanifing municipality. Let's take a look now at the front cover of The Voice. Total government expenditure in 2025 stands at $47.4 billion according to Finance Minister. Government pensioners appeal for adequate increase in pension allowances. Historic alliance formed between GMC and NPP. Dabo urges Gambians to sideline tribal politics or politicians. GTSC bus driver allegedly assaulted by Senegalese customs officers, and KMC set to host NACONF 2024. Finally, the Standard. ECOWAS approves special tribunal for Gambia. Mai Fati says rejoining NPP alliance is in the national interest. Dabo tells Barrow not to seek re-election. Government spending increased to $47 billion in 2025. MRC workers call for sit-down strike today. Police block Sukuta villagers' press conference at Salaji Forest. And Jawara receives Senegal's Jambar Award. And that was your first look at Monday's newspapers. Our thanks to Foraya, The Standard, The Voice, The Point, and The Gambia Daily.
Looking for an establishment where value for money and unrivaled services with admirable turnaround time is guaranteed? The Port of Banjul is the perfect place for you. A vital gateway for trade offering connections to numerous global destinations. With improved infrastructure combined with a flexible tariff, the Port of Banjul remains a vital node in maritime trade. Along with its dedicated workforce, efficient service delivery, technology-inspired innovation, and an impressive record in handling all types of cargo, the Port of Banjul is also widely acknowledged as one of the safest ports on the continent with no history of piracy. As a major player in the region's maritime trade, accounting for 90% of all imports and exports, we are more than just a transit point, but a vital cog in the global trade sphere. Come experience a hassle-free fast customs clearance inspired by our simplified trade documentation procedures, safe and efficient cargo and vessel handling. The Port of Banjul offers prompt, reliable and value for money service and customer satisfaction is guaranteed.
34 minutes past the hour is our time. If you'd like to advertise on the program, call and speak to Mr. Jibril Jassi on 699 0107 787 0107 or 924 24 24. Now, after nearly 14 years of war, Syrians are returning to areas destroyed by the Assad regime. They are now contemplating the task of reconstructing huge parts of the capital. But in the southern suburbs, where residents endured chemical weapons and barrel bomb attacks, whole areas still lie in ruins. I was going to bring you a report on that, but we are already 5 minutes behind time. My guest is Lamin Saidy, an advisor to President Barrow. He advises the president on issues relating to youth, from their education to job opportunities and backway or irregular migration. But if the UDP had its way, he wouldn't be doing that job anymore. He was one of 6 or so advisors whose positions the long-standing opposition party wanted abolished. But the Supreme Court of the Gambia found against the party, the UDP that is. And Lamin has a great sense of humor. As guests arrive, we offer them, even though we are all about coffee, we offer them coffee, tea, or water. But he declined. Why? Because he doesn't want me to keep reminding him that they did not give me part of the $14 million that was, dished out to certain media houses. Great sense of humor, Lamin. It's a good way to start the day.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to West Coast Radio and Coffee Time, for that matter.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You still have a job.
That introduction is interesting, actually. As I take my coffee, I want to call on the Minister for Information to kindly consider giving West Coast.
No, he's deaf. He doesn't hear. He's deaf.
No, he will hear me out. I'm his brother and colleague.
If he wasn't deaf, he would have heard.
He's my boss, so he will hear me out. But Uncle Peter, is an honor to join you in this very interesting program. Coffee Time. I'm a great fan of this program.
Thank you.
And it will interest to know that I am part of the WhatsApp group that receives on a daily basis.
Interesting.
And
you do contribute a lot. I don't always read out your contributions, but especially when you have people from the other side.
The other side of the divide.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that at least I share my thoughts, and I do that for many of the programs. Bombastic, a very good brother. I'm a great contributor to his program as well, and we laugh together, and that's what it takes to be a public servant. The media is a critical player in national development, and building a good relationship with the media. It does not have to be a friendly one, but a good relationship with the media is of great importance to communicate one's vision, programs, and activities, particularly that of the government that we serve. But like you said, yes, I'm glad that the Supreme Court has ruled that I need to stay in my job. So I am here with you.
Mm-hmm. So when the UDP went to court, I mean, how did you feel? Did you feel that they had a case, a strong case?
No, I've always stayed positive that UDP do not have a case. UDP, after losing the 2021 election, they were shocked and were going for low-hanging fruits. And anything that they think they can make a case out of, that they think they can make noise, in fact, not a case out of, but they can make noise around, and that the public will hear them out, UDP always go in for that. So this is one of those that they have tried their chances, and that tells you how unserious UDP is when it comes to dealing with national affairs. I mean, you take people to court, and you was never present to give the required documentations necessary to substantiate your case, and that's what happens with the case of ambassadors. In our case, as presidential advisors, the Supreme Court made a ruling in favor of the president, who has the prerogative to create an office and appoint such officers to serve. And you can, in the judgment, you hear that we served at the pleasure of the president, nothing more, nothing less. And serving at the pleasure of the president is an honor for me and my colleagues, because the president's aspiration is to have this country developed. So whatever we do for him or for his office is not his individual representation, but is to serve national interests. That's what we do.
Well, the technicality there is, I mean, the president as an individual rather than the civil service, because the argument was, I mean, you were part of the civil service. And,
Yes.
and that was, you know, it ran counter to the Constitution.
Yes, the president is never an individual. He occupies an office. So we're referring to the office of the president in this respect. So our offices are an extension of the office of the president. And that's, in essence, that was declared. And what it means that we serve at the pleasure of the president is that the president can assign us any duty. But like I said, I maintain that the president has no interest in us serving him at individual capacity. Whatever assignment he gives to us is about national development, is about the government, is about the people of the Gambia, and that's what we do.
I know you people want us to believe that the youths are happy. Do you believe that the youths are happy?
Very, very happy.
Okay, all right. So you've been, the advisor to the president on youth matters. What do you tell him about, you know, the unemployment, you know, bedeviling youths, the back way or irregular migration?
Uncle Peter, you see, just to set the background on the role of presidential advisors to the president, primarily we do policy advice, you know, but to the president, but beyond that, we also, you know, provide advice and assistance to even sectors concerned, you know, I mean, in respect of the various disciplines that we are assigned with. For example, the National Security Advisor do not only advise the president, but he advises the police, the military, and all that, and coordinate their activities to ensure that they are aligned with, you know, modern practices and standards. As a youth advisor as well, I provide advice to the president where necessary on matters of youth and on areas that you've just mentioned, but also beyond that, I go to the sectors as well and interact with them. And sometimes, you know, even the beneficiary, the constituent, the youth constituent itself. If you look at my personal Facebook page and, you know, I have a lot of interaction with young people, you know, I have a lot of media engagement, raising awareness of young people around, you know, social ills and issues of backway, and of course also opportunities that are available within the government that they could explore, skills development and so forth. And like I said, beyond advising the president, I also interact with ministers. For example, the Minister of Higher Education, who is a passionate brother and friend. We always discuss, and you know his vision and, you know, I mean, program for young people in terms of acquisition of skills.
Yeah, the TVET strategy.
The TVET strategy. You see, the Minister of Higher Education under the leadership of Prof. Gomez is doing extensively well in that area, ensuring that we do not have that centralized service, but decentralized service of our TVET program across the country. Now, the issue there now is to attract young people to take advantage of those services. For example, if you have a skill, if you are trained in the Gambia on any of the skills, if you go outside, it makes life easier for you. It makes you, makes integration an easy process for you. You can be self-employed or you can be employed.
That is correct.
Outside.
But are the youths embracing the, TVET agenda of the government, you would say, of President Barrow?
For far too long, our educational system, prepares us to sit in offices. And a good number of us, when we were going to school, we were prepared predominantly to go and sit in the office after the completion of our education. So with the aggressive approach by President Barrow's government now, the first idea is to instill in our young people, in the minds of our young people, that TVET is the way out. Technical and vocational education is the way out. With that, you can be self-reliant. You can be you can be self-employed. you can employ others, but also you can fit in the global job market easily.
Okay, so that's the message out there. The question is, are the youths embracing that message?
So I'm just setting background to this. Now, what happened is that the first start is that to sensitize, to raise awareness of young people. It's a very challenging one. I will give you an example. About 2 years ago, during the Meet the People's tour, we visited the President's International Award Scheme's outlet in North Bank region, Kerawan. They have tailoring, auto mechanic, and all that, and they have all the modern equipments, training equipments available there. But the enrollment rate was almost nothing.
Oh dear.
In terms of auto mechanic and so forth.
Probably because all the youths in the NBR have found themselves
in the back way.
Exactly.
So yeah, so this is I have the opportunity of working with and for young people for far too long. I have worked with the National Youth Council, which is the umbrella body, of all youth organizations in this country. I have the opportunity of working there, and I know, I understand the mindset of our young people.
What's the mindset of young people?
The mindset of our young people is that the grass is greener outside the Gambia. So that has been, and at the family level as well, parents, everybody believes that your child has to travel out to be able to make ends meet, to be able to make something, great, which is true, of course, but it's not in the Gambia. People have made it in this country, skillful people continue to make an impact in this country. But now the good news is that young people are now embracing this program. I'm sure in your interview with Prof. Gomez, you would understand. Now, the reason why government is opening all these outlets is because we are having the clientele. That's why, we're making sure that we reach out to, young people at their various locations. In fact, during the last Meet the People's Store, which I'm sure we're going to discuss, in some of the...
I was going to say, you keep referring to it, we have to talk about it next.
In some of the areas that we went to, last year, there were some demands in terms of, skill centers and so forth. So government's announcement was that we have these outlets available at so and so place. So as a measure, the government ensures that accommodation fits in part of the package, right? At no or lower cost to the beneficiaries of this program. And the good news also is that most of these programs are free of charge for the young people. So
do they know all this?
Yeah, we like I said, there is no study to prove that
free accommodation, free feeding, free tuition,
training, and all that, not tuition.
And then there's seed money.
Yeah, seed money to start up. Yes, after most of them after the program, they have that opportunity. But like I said, the reason why we continue with the media engagement is to inform the young people that these opportunities are available out there. And remember, prior to this, the Ministry of Higher Education's initiative, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, through its satellite institutions like the President International Award Scheme, the National Youth Service Scheme, has been engaged. But now you could see the initial idea of the National Youth Service Scheme, or the programs that were undertaken, has now, the government is now rebranding under the leadership of the Minister of Youth and Sport, Honorable Bakari Baji. Now there is a rebrand. You heard about the graduate program. Now, at least after going to the university, because initially the President Award Scheme was perceived to be, the National Youth Service Scheme and the President was perceived to be for school dropouts, which is not the case. The policy framework do not, suggest so. So now the graduate program has started with support from the UN system. Now we've seen people from the University of the Gambia enrolling into that program, and they have paid internship just like we have in other countries. So this is where we move into. So, but again, also the President International Award Scheme, for a long period of time, has provided most institutions with secretaries, those days, because they provide secretarial courses and so forth. A lot of institutions were, employing, the staff of that, the trainees of that institution. But again, also, about the hotel school that serves as a feeder to hotels in terms of, the human resource. So government has been doing all that. But again, also at a large scale now, the Ministry of Higher Education has picked it up so that you become a degree holder, so that, you become that highly skilled person. When I was with the National Youth Council, there was this program that we were running, and that's what exactly the Ministry of Higher Education is now doing. For example, those days, the informal way of apprenticeship was that you will be attached to a craftsman, and, for sometimes more than 15 years, you will be there. Nothing. You cannot provide nothing for yourself or your family, which is very good though, because at the time there was this issue of compliance, conformity, discipline, and all that. But that was not what is desired.
Yeah, 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years plus. On apprenticeship. So then NACA now, National Training Authority, came with a program in formalizing apprenticeship program. Now they have craftsmen who were selected across the country. Now what they do is that for each of the trade, they make sure that they develop a benchmark that, okay, as a carpenter, after 1 year, you should be able to move from this stage to this stage, all right? As whatever skill it is, as a welding man or what, you need to from this period to this period, you need to move from this stage. So they certify them based on the stages, and these craftsmen were supported with incentives. They were given equipment and so forth to train these young people. At the end of the program, their program, let's say 2 years or 3 years, they are certified and they become, masters in their own craft.
Fantastic. So even though they are still trooping out of the country in droves, taking the back way, the youths are happy. Let's talk about the Meet the People tour. I'm sure, you have a lot of positives to focus on, but once again, maybe slip of the tongue by the president, this Mandinka statement in LRR.
Uncle Peter, anyways, let me take my tea. I want to remind the Minister of Information that I have been provided with tea and that Uncle Peter has to be considered for the next badge of allocation to pay the bills.
Let's talk about this Mandinka reserve.
So Uncle Peter,
what was going through the head of the president?
Let me say this. I'll give you an example. Sometimes 2018.
Yes.
I had an opportunity of participating in a debate organized by DW Africa.
Yes, Deutsche Welle.
Yes, myself, the current chairman of the Brikama Area Council, Sid Matijao, and others, Yanko Badabo, and the killer is, we had a panel. And one of the subject was ahead of the election. This was ahead of an election.
The 2021 elections, yes.
And the president, in one of his statements, was like, they quoted him to have said that this election, like, let's say, for example, the Moma Genal Nyaka election, something like that. Yeah. Now they put that into all negative context. Now I'm saying in our local dialect.
Was it when he was reported to have said that he would rather die than lose
this election?
Better to die than lose the election.
Than this election. Okay, that's in there. But sometimes deliberately our political opponents, this is what they picked up, and it happens. That's part of the game. The game is that you take advantage over every single opportunity that your opponent, air or not sometimes air, but you think you can build something out of it. That's the game. That's our game, Uncle Peter. And I want your people to understand.
So this is a game.
This is a game. That's the game of politics. That's what you can build on to be able to, use others against, the person who made that statement. Now, when the president said that, we took it in negative context. But Uncle Peter, as a fan of football, you know very well that sometimes in games, you hear people say, this is a do or die game.
True.
Does it mean when you go to the field, you're going to kill people?
No.
Does it mean you're going to kill people to win that game? No. These are sayings that we were accustomed to, but the game of politics has made it so negative or has been used in the negative context. So our opponents use it at their advantage. So now, in that conversation out there,
in LRR,
the president intend no harm. Often when the president stands on platform, he is the one person in this country, politician, that speaks Mandinka, Wolof, Fula, Sarahule, and all that.
When will he speak Manjago?
I think we need to...
He marginalizes us.
Uncle Peter, you need to send us a trainer, so he will at least language specialist.
You have Professor Gomez. Take him.
Prof, yes. Prof
he speaks good Manjago.
Very good Manjago. I thought he would have... Prof will be speaking modern Manjago.
But let's go back to this Mandinka.
Yes, so the president, like the information minister said, the president intends no harm. The conversation is about the line of conversation that we were having. And the president, most times when he expresses these sentiments, for example, in a conversation where he said, let's say in Kiang, I'm just giving an irony around this. When we went to Kiang, he said to the people of Kiang that, not exactly, he said, I'm just paraphrasing, he is not going to look into the reward that they give him because they have not been voting for him oftenly. Sometimes most times we lose his elections in the Kiangs and so forth. And Yahya Jammeh has used that to punish the people of Kiang for many, many, many years. President Barrow said, look, I'm the president of the Gambia. I'm the president of all. Whether you vote for me or not, in this case, Kiang, where I have not been securing the required votes, I will continue to do development programs for the people of Kiang. And he reminded them that in 2016, when he was an independent candidate through UDP, they voted for him. He reminded them and said, the commitments that I made in 2016 when I was campaigning, because you voted for me in 2016, I will continue to do development programs for you. Now, it was in a conversation, but people do not give it that background. What they picked up is the portion that they think they can anger the Mandinka constituent, that they can use against the president to anger the Mandinka constituent. The president never intends, and he will never intend.
So what was his intention then? Why did he have
he
to
was
say
having
that?
a conversation.
Yeah.
Why not? What is wrong in saying that?
You didn't vote for...
You don't vote for me.
You didn't vote for Jawara. You didn't
vote for Jawara, but that's the
you
truth.
didn't vote for me.
And that's the hard fact. But let me tell you, when has it become wrong? Ajiyam Seka of UDP stood in a platform.
The deputy leader.
Yes, deputy party leader of the UDP. Yes. Sat on on a platform, said that Badiya Fasa, that, in certain Nyanija, around that end where Usainu Dabo comes from, he said no political party should secure a single vote because Usainu Dabo comes from that end. And he calls on the Mandinkas to vote for Usainu Dabo. He calls on the Mandinkas to vote for Usainu Dabo and said, if they want, let them say, I am being tribalist and so forth. So because...
She openly said that?
Yes, she openly said that. I can send that video to you. She openly said that. You know why she said that?
No.
Because in the game of politics, she knew that was going to be used against her. She knew that was going to be used against her.
Was it used against her?
It was used against her. Okay. We use it, we popularize it. In fact, we cut that part just like you said the youths are happy.
into a slogan.
Into a slogan. Yeah. So, you popularize our youths are happy slogan once more. Actually, so we use that portion of it and share it. And Usainu Dabo himself has expressed such sentiments over and over. But he went to URR and accused the Sarahules.
Of what?
For Badiya Fasa. He accused them of that.
That they are helping keep
Sarahules
Barrow
left
in
to develop.
power.
Exactly. Mm. So what I'm saying is that probably Ajiyam Seka do not intend any harm. Probably Usainu Dabo do not intend any harm. It's a line of conversation. Sometimes when you meet with a particular group, that's the time that you are able to speak, in their faces and tell them, well, this is the case. And sometimes, for example, what the media will not bring out is probably the conversation has been a long one, resulting to that part of the discussion. But what will happen is that side wouldn't be covered. What you will hear oftenly is that portion.
Well, we don't do meet the people because you people don't want us anywhere near the president. No. I mean, I've complained about that. West Coast Radio is never invited to presidential
events. But Uncle,
we are not complaining.
Not the meet the people store though. But I can tell you one program that I know for sure and for fact that government officials are engaged so much.
Yeah, we all know. Let's stay here. Let's
so kudos to us for that, Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter, just say thank you to government for that.
Thank you.
Even though it's our job. Thank you.
You're not serious. We're talking to Lamin Saidy. He's the youth advisor.
Actually, when you said Lamin Saidy,
people
not picked it up quickly.
Okay. Lamin K Saidy.
There is another Lamin Saidy within our circle who is also very popular.
Okay.
And we don't want to steal each other's identity.
And the K is for what? Keba?
Karamo.
Karamo.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Lamin K Saidy. I should, emphasize
that. Thank you.
I don't like abbreviation.
I noticed that in you.
Yeah.
However, we have to do it for identity purpose.
I usually drop them. Yeah. But come on, there's only one Lamin Saidy. There can only be one Lamin Saidy as youth advisor at a time.
Yes, that's true.
But you think the other Lamin Saidy has any chance of ever being a youth advisor? Because he might be in.
He would not want to be.
Yeah, he would not.
He would not want to be.
This third term thing. I mean, apart from you in NPP and this now, what is being called Grand Alliance. Not many people,
Call it Grand Alliance.
Okay, Grand Alliance.
Yes.
Would like to see the president, run again in 2026. So why, can't you see the sense in people saying he shouldn't run in 2026?
Who? When you said the people saying, who are you talking about?
The opposition,
Okay,
civil society organizations.
Uncle Peter, civil society organizations are not political parties. This
Yeah,
government.
but that's why what they say matters.
In this country, the president is elected by the masses through politics. It's a political office. The decision is about for politicians to decide and sell their agenda to the public. For us, we are presenting ourselves because the law gives us the opportunity to do so.
True.
We are not changing any constitution. We are not changing any law to present President Barrow as a candidate. We are taking advantage over the law that exists in this country to present President Barrow as the candidate for the National People's Party come 2026. Now, anybody who has a different view to that, contrary view to that, there is only one place that we can meet at. Not in the courts, not in town hall meetings. We can only meet at the polls. What is the noise about it? Election is coming. Prepare a candidate. Let's meet at the polls. The NPP and its alliance partners.
They're not against meeting an NPP candidate at the polls. It's the candidate that you want to put up at the polls that they have an issue with.
Waji, boy dem bore danga yobu sambur big am poids bi ñun président Barrow mom la ñoo mëna jaay nit ñi tay président Barrow mom moko liggéey président Barrow mom moko yelo tay nekul ne amuñ ñuy mëna taxaw as presidential candidates
taxawal leen ñu nak
non duñ leen taxawal
defé waji wañeku
no Uncle Peter, this game of politics wax bi su fa amut rek neexut wax bi mo wara am ñu dem. You know, recently in the recent concluded elections in Ghana, everybody went out. The civil society did not sit there and said, oh, Mahama has tried many chances and whatever. It's only in the Gambia that you hear these things.
No, Mahama did not do more than one term.
How many elections did he lose?
He did one. No, that's not the issue. No. Nobody is saying Hussein Udabo should not stand because
in Ghana,
he has lost X
do you know what?
elections.
In Ghana, they have a term limit of two terms.
Yes.
That's their law.
Yes.
And that's why they're not talking about it.
And we're saying that's the good law now. That's what, the two-term limit is.
It's not a law in our country. Until it is a law, let's forget about it.
So unless it is a law, you people will not do anything good.
No, we're doing good. Yeah, what do you mean not doing anything good?
But he
Uncle Peter, filing our candidate, referring to our candidate or our decision.
In 2026,
no good.
No, in 2026, he would have done 10 years. The good thing would be to say, well, I have done 2 terms. Whether the Constitution says it or not, I am standing
Are you
down.
insinuating that it will be a bad thing to say, here I am again? Certainly not.
Yeah, well, they would say, well, he could have gone after 10 years.
No. You see, Uncle Peter.
We're saying now the good practice is do 2 terms and move on. And he could set a fantastic example.
Now, even if the President Barrow as a person wants to do, look.
Even if he wants to do?
Even if he decides so.
Yes. I want you to continue.
He
yes.
is not in absolute control over himself when it comes to this office that he occupies.
You people will force him to continue.
We are filing President Barrow. This is not his decision. This is the decision of the National Executive of the National People's Party and its members.
We got indication of that already.
The country.
Delegations have been coming to say we want you to run in 2026.
We are filing President Barrow. We do not change a winning team in football. Because Manchester United has been there for years.
Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that.
Okay. But I'm saying you do not change a winning team.
Okay.
And for us, we have a winning team. President Barrow has been a very good driver. And what is the noise about term limit? Look, in advanced countries that we always say, for example, Paul Kagame, has been doing extremely well for his country. He is this,
because
he is that,
he has been doing extremely well for his country.
And that's why the Gambian people are saying President Barrow is who we want, because he has been doing extremely well for his country.
Oh no,
Uncle Peter, listen.
Our debt stock has risen to unprecedented levels.
Listen, I'm not an expert in budget and all that, but I'm saying that the rationale around that has been explained extensively by the Minister of Finance. And a lot of experts, budget experts, have aligned themselves with his thoughts and ideology in terms of dealing with our budget. And as much we have that side of the budget, we have a lot of other good sides of our budget now. Uncle Peter, like Paul Kagame did, so President Barrow do for Gambians. That today, I know in one of your programs, I heard one of your panelists said, the president has to understand that infrastructural development is not it all. But let me say this. When they give examples of other countries, they always cite infrastructure. You see the hypocrisy in our opposition, some of our oppositions. They will cite other countries. They will go and tell other Gambians, oh yeah, look at Senegal, look at Fele, the airport be Fele, send airport be. But send Yoni, those yawns and airports and other infrastructures that the president is putting on, they want Gambians to give a blind eye to that. It will not happen. We will go out there, we will speak about it, Gambian people will see it. You see, Uncle Peter, when we travel with the president, most time to go assess the ongoing projects, sometimes I feel like, man, are we doing this as a government? Sometimes I'm surprised that Gambia fee. Let me give you an example. Tay, bu ñoo wax dëgga, Uncle Peter, yéen ñu mag fuuf xam nga Banjul. You know Banjul a lot.
I was born there.
Yes, okay. You was born in Banjul. Tay, ku la wan ne President Barrow deful dara in Banjul, I'm sure da ngaa jël sa kaasi coffee bi nga tuur ko. Today, go to Banjul. You go to Banjul today and tell me how Banjul, like President Barrow said, mosquito is a down. Probably they are hiding somewhere in Combo now.
Well, the road network is a lot better than, it's ever been.
Exceptionally better. Yeah. Exceptionally. And the few areas in Banjul that has not been covered. When the president took a walk around the market, the road that connects from the State House gate all the way to the post office around, he found the situation to be there. And immediately, the Minister of Works was instructed to ensure that that area is fixed, because that's the heart of our capital.
Fixed within,
yes.
What space of time?
Within a very short space of time. In fact, it was a directive.
So
immediately.
We should expect it fixed before the end of the month.
No, we visited. This instruction was given less than 3 months ago or so.
And it's fixed already.
It's already it's almost quarter way. The program is already quarter or halfway. They are almost halfway into the work.
Well, that could take another 6 months to finish.
No, well, whether it takes a year or 2 years, but it's going to be fixed. And it's serving the people of Banjul. Now, Uncle Peter, you come to, for example, as slow as the development projects may take door, because
Hakalang comes to mind.
Yes, Hakalang comes to mind. Road infrastructure, by virtue of its cost and resources that goes into it, is never an easy task. Have some potholes around your house and try to fix it and see how much energy, how much resources will go into it. Much more developing a route of 8, 9, 10, 20 or whatever kilometers. Now, the Hakalang project, a lot of explanation have been given, but we are progressing. Okay. And sometimes also, some of these contractors, they will bid, they will present all the best of, ideas and documents. Once they have the contract, they default here and there. So
you punish them. How do you punish defaulters?
They have been punished. Okay. Some of them, their contracts have been terminated. Some, they have to go back to renegotiation here and there. But you see, capital investments of that nature, when the contractor defaults, sometimes you have to approach it with maximum care. Otherwise, you will cause more delay than than expected.
Speaking of delay, we have delayed Bombastic's program by almost 9 minutes already.
Bombastic
will take another 5 minutes. He will take another 5 minutes. 2 things I want you to comment on: the draft constitution. NPP doesn't want people to be saying, the current or whatever. There's only one draft constitution.
There's only one draft constitution. Absolutely.
And funding the Meet the People tour. It's costing the Gambian taxpayer a lot of money, and people feel that, the The style of the people tour is irrelevant today. I mean, this is what you inherited, if you like, from Jawara.
I had your interview with Bibi Dao. So at the time of serving as well, people complained that the way they were doing it was bad. But here is the case. He is our political opponent, remember. He would have to criticize to stay relevant. But
even when he says the right thing, you would say that is just a political criticism.
What right thing? Let me say this. The style of the Meet the People store, who determines that? When he comes into government, for example, which is not going to happen anytime soon, if it is going to happen ever.
You don't know. You don't know.
I'm saying,
2026.
I'm just saying, I'm speaking to you
2026 might throw up a surprise.
I'm speaking to you as a politician. You see, recently in Ghana, if I have my way, there are some political parties that will not exist in this country. But democratic space requires for it.
Certainly
in Ghana.
Certainly the GFA is not one of them.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm saying yes, GFA.
Yes.
What is the political base for GFA? Who have you ever, since the establishment of GFA, tell me one single individual apart from Bibi Dabo who ever come out to make a statement about GFA? One individual, Uncle Peter.
Lamin Barrow.
Yo. I can.
I've just given. No. You asked me to give you one name. I've given you a name.
Only apart from these two. That's it. But I mean, in fact, Malawi, I've never had him though. You do. But I know GFA. The face of GFA has only been one person. But I'm saying this.
Just like the face of NPP has only been one person.
One person.
Adama Barrow.
Uncle Peter did it.
Let's move on.
We move on.
Let's move on. Yes.
What I'm saying
the
here
draft
is
constitution.
The draft constitution. Let me start with the Meet the People store.
Let's finish with the Meet the People.
Let me start with the Meet the People store. The Meet the People store. In fact, as a government, the president has always insisted that we cut cost more. The normal approach would have taken more money. Because
that's not cutting.
No, let me say this.
Then change the approach.
No, the approach right now, the approach has been changed. Because we cluster, then they cluster. Imagine we were supposed to meet everybody. But what we do is that we cluster people.
Do you all have to go, all those people, do they have to be going year in, year out?
Yes. It's necessary. Very important. The activities, you see, you only see the meeting. You people only refer to the meeting. The sideline events.
The political meetings.
No, forget about the political. There's no political meeting. They have the Meet the People store. The meeting, the grand meeting is the only thing that people see. But the side events that also are held around the Meet the People store is numerous. And Uncle Peter, the Meet the People store avail people the opportunity to interact with their president, apart from the presidential elections and other elections. It gives them an opportunity to interact with their president. Now, in terms of the budget cost that they're talking about, they don't talk about the impact. They said the budget. Yeah. That's all that they said, the budget.
Yeah, because to them there's no impact.
Yeah, to them there is no impact. To the people that we are meeting, there is huge impact. They have the opportunity to speak their mind, and their issues have been addressed. Because, for example, last year when we were going to Meet the People store, and Uncle Peter, if you want, we can have a repeat of this program, and I will bring along the technical department of the Ministry of Public Service to bring out the data, the segregated data on the impact that has been made during last year and this year in terms of demands versus the achievements. New demands, the existing ones, and so forth. We have the data. We have the data, and I can link you with the technical people to come here and tell you that last year when we were going to Meet the People store, we have our technicians seated, tabulating every single demand.
So in short, the Meet the People tour is what? The
30
million, the 50 million.
In fact, the 30 million, let me say this. For example, the reason why the minister gave you the rationale why the adjustment on the budget, because the Constitution says, the Constitution's provision do not limit it to one. So in the event that there is a need for another one,
should tour the country at least once.
At least once. Yes. So where it goes beyond one, where are you going to get the funding?
But he's never done two.
No. For example, last year, we have done the industrial tour.
Carnifing.
No, we went as far as URR. The industrial tour, yes. We went as far as URR in Woolley. We have visited this pasture, the grass that generates itself immediately once the water is available and all, and farmers are able to take their cattle there, their animals to feed. We went there under the Ministry of Agriculture. Is a breed of grass. The moment you are able to have water around, Do they there? So instead of such jury, they them Casamas, because time the neighboring, they go to other areas to have their animals fed. So they have this. The ministry, apart from the Ministry of Agriculture having it for only, like a community one, they are even now giving the grass to single farmers. They think they can sustain it. Running out of time, you've raised the issue of
draft constitution.
The draft constitution. The draft constitution is there. We have, we have it.
The president is seeking too much power. That's what they say.
We have an executive system of government. That's what we have. So the constitution, whatever the president asks for or the cabinet asks for, when it goes to parliament, we are not sitting there to say, parliament nyoko said. So let's give the parliament their mandate. You buy land, you definitely want to def. So, Uncle Peter, the issue of this constitution, I think people are just wasting unnecessary, debate here and there. The constitution, let's allow it to go to the parliament, and we go and do our lobbying with the parliament. Let's go and do our lobbying with the parliament. That's what we did when they targeted us unnecessarily. During the last presentation, we went to MPs. We lobbied with MPs and said, look, this is not the best of document that we need for this country. That's what we do. We're politicians. So the constitution, by virtue of its setup, also.
So you're admitting that NPP undermined the 2020
I'm not saying
draft.
NPP. I'm saying we went to parliament.
Who is you? Who is we? NPP.
We're a citizen. We're citizens as well. We did our lobbying. We thought this is unnecessarily targeted. But again, Uncle Peter, in that constitution, it was not only NPP who raised his voice against it. We have a lot of constituents. The Christian community came with an opinion paper, you know about it. The other interest groups, unions came out and said, oh, this document only favors the judiciary. We have it. So a lot of other, but politically, it's only the NPP's point that is seen. Uncle Peter, before I wrap up, allow me to please congratulate the Inspector General of Police, Sidi Mukhtar Toure.
For doing what?
For the Gambia Police Force has been, celebrated across the continent as the best national police
in West Africa.
That this event was held in Qatar. An independent body, Security Watch Africa, awarded the Gambia Police Force as the best. And I'm sure you will agree with me that we have the best police service. We have transformed ourselves. I'm saying...
I don't know about the police service in Guinea-Bissau or Mauritania.
We have transformed... Okay, those who knew about this have awarded us. Fair enough. We have transformed ourselves from that police that was executive control over the past years to a very independent police that we have today. And under the leadership of Sidi Mukhtar Toure, the police themselves, go to the police, they are very happy. Very, very happy. Sidi...
Is that your new slogan, the police are happy?
They are very happy. The police, under the leadership of Sidi Mukhtar Toure, has enjoyed that independent and individual independent and departmental independence. That today, a police officer in URR has a strong connection with the headquarters. That has not been the practice before. A lot of police officers those days do not even know the structure.
Ablai Sanyang will be very disappointed to hear
this. No. It's not have to. You see, leaders come with new innovations as well. Ablai has done his part for the police. Yankuba Sonko has done his best for the police. They introduced the KEDIC program. The Ablai Sanyang introduced how do they call these dogs? These dogs that the police use. The K9.
Yeah.
Ablai came with all those initiatives, patrol vehicles, the establishments of, for example, Mahmoud Job, with the establishment of anti-crime and all that. So each leader comes with, his programs and activities. But I'm saying today, under the leadership of Sidi, however, as Sidi administers the police, remember also, Ablai is the Minister of Interior.
Yes.
They would have to have his blessing for the programs and activities that they are undertaking.
You're a good politician. You're a good politician. Lamin K Saidy.
I did not only thank my president, His Excellency President Barrow, for giving us the space to interact with the media. In the previous government, as a presidential advisor, if I am to come to this program, I would have to seek approval.
I wasn't even doing this program.
Yes, well,
the way it's being done.
You would have not even do. I remember how this program started actually, Uncle Peter. But I'm saying, President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency President Barrow, has created the space. I will call on civil and public servants to do their job and do it rightly. Be in office at time or in time and respond to the needs of the public. We're there because of them.
Fantastic. You should be reminding on a daily basis. Yes. Tomorrow, Tombong Saidy will be here to respond to everything you said against the UDP. Lamin K Saidy, thank you very much for coming. He's the Presidential Advisor on Youth Affairs, and that brings us to the end of today's program, another extended version. Apologies to the Alzheimer team. DJ Bombastic is next, and I'll be here tomorrow, as I said, with Tombong Saidy and lots of other invited guests. Have a very good day.